Jiho Kim ran through the tall grass near the colony fence. His small legs moved fast as he chased the bright blue butterfly. The 8-year-old boy laughed when the creature landed on a flower just out of reach. "Jiho, don't go too far," called Minji Park from behind him. The 10-year-old girl was supposed to watch him while their parents worked. She carried a small bag with their lunch and water bottles. "I'm not far," Jiho said. He reached for the butterfly again. "Look how pretty it is." New Busan Colony sat in a wide valley surrounded by purple mountains. The human settlement had been there for 5 years. 300 families lived in the small town. They grew food, mined metals, and studied the planet's strange plants and animals. Jiho's father, Hyun Lee, worked as the colony administrator. He made sure everyone had what they needed. Minji's mother, Nara Choi, was the security chief. She kept everyone safe from the wild animals that sometimes came near the town. The morning was peaceful. The 2 suns in the sky made everything warm and bright. Other children played in the distance, their voices carried on the gentle wind. "We should go back soon," Minji said. She sat on a rock and opened their lunch bag. "Mom said there might be ships coming today." "What kind of ships?" Jiho asked. He finally gave up on the butterfly and sat next to his friend. "Trader ships, maybe, or explorers." Minji handed him a sandwich. "Dad said the galaxy is full of different people, most are friendly." Jiho took a big bite of his food. "I want to see aliens someday. Real ones, not just pictures." "Maybe you will," Minji said. She smiled at the younger boy. "But for now, we should." A loud noise cut through the air. Both children looked up. Dark shapes moved across the sky. The ships were big and black. They did not look like the friendly trader vessels that sometimes visited. "Those don't look right," Minji whispered. Her hand found Jiho's arm. The ships landed near the colony with heavy thuds. Dust clouds rose around them. Strange creatures came out of the ships. They walked on 2 legs like humans, but were much taller. Their skin was gray and rough. They carried weapons that glowed with red light. "Run!" Minji grabbed Jiho's hand. "We need to get home." The 2 children ran toward the colony as fast as they could. Behind them, the alien soldiers spread out. Loud voices shouted in a language they did not understand. Then came the sound of energy weapons firing. People screamed in the distance. The aliens were attacking the colony. Minji and Jiho reached the edge of town. Smoke rose from several buildings. The aliens moved through the streets in groups. They shot at anyone who tried to fight back. "This way." Minji pulled Jiho toward the back streets. They needed to find their parents. Captain Vextai of the Zalari pirates stood in the colony's main square. His gray skin showed old battle scars. His red eyes looked around with anger. The humans had hidden their research data too well. His soldiers could not find the valuable information they came to steal. "Sir," said Lieutenant Klim, his nervous voice shaking. "The humans destroyed their main computers. We cannot get the data." Vextai hit the side of a building with his fist. The mission was failing. They needed something valuable to make this raid worth the trouble and risk. "Find something else," he ordered. "These humans must have something we can sell." Klim pointed to a group of human adults they had captured. "What about slaves?" "No," Vextai said. "Too dangerous. Other species know humans fight back. Hard to sell." The captain looked around the square. Then he saw something that made him smile. A group of small humans ran past the end of the street. "Children." "Wait," Vextai said slowly. "I have a better idea." The alien captain had heard stories about human children in the outer markets. Rich collectors paid huge amounts for rare specimens. Young humans would be worth a fortune. "Klim, gather the soldiers. We're taking the small humans." "Sir?" Klim looked confused. "The children?" "Yes. They'll be worth more than any data." Vextai's smile grew wider. "Rich aliens love to collect exotic young creatures. Human offspring will make us very wealthy." Meanwhile, Minji and Jiho hid behind a storage building. They could see the main square where the aliens held their parents and neighbors. Nara Choi was there, her hands tied behind her back. Hyun Lee stood next to her, his face full of worry. "We have to help them," Jiho whispered. We can't, Minji said sadly. We're too small. We need to hide until help comes. But help seemed far away. The colony's communication tower was broken. Smoke rose from the security building. The aliens controlled everything. Suddenly, alien soldiers appeared at both ends of their hiding spot. The children were trapped. Run! Minji shouted. They ran as fast as they could, but the alien soldiers were faster. Strong gray hands grabbed them. Jiho tried to bite the alien holding him, but it just laughed. Got them! The soldier called out, in broken human language. More children were brought to the square. 12 young humans in total, ages 6 to 12. They were scared but tried to be brave. Some cried quietly. Others held hands with their friends. Bextai looked at his prizes with satisfaction. Perfect. Load them on the ship. Wait. Hyun Lee broke free from his guards and ran toward the children. Don't take them. Take me instead. The alien captain hit Hyun with the back of his hand. The human fell to the ground. Your offspring are worth more, Bextai said. Rich collectors will pay millions for young humans. You adults are worthless. Nara Choi struggled against her bonds. You don't know what you're doing. Let them go. I know exactly what I'm doing, the captain replied. Getting rich. The aliens forced the children onto their ship. Jiho looked back at his father one last time. Hyun was getting to his feet, blood on his face. His eyes met his son's eyes. I'll find you, Hyun shouted. I promise. Then the ship's doors closed. The engines started. Within minutes, the pirate vessel lifted off and disappeared into space. Hyun Lee ran to the damaged communication center. He worked frantically to repair the emergency transmitter. His hands shook as he connected broken wires. Finally, a weak signal went out into space. His voice carried across the galaxy. This is New Busan Colony. Human offspring have been taken. Repeat, human children have been kidnapped. The message reached the nearest relay station. From there, it spread to other stations. Within hours, every major civilization in the galaxy would know what had happened, and that would change everything. The message from New Busan Colony reached the Galactic Council stations first. A young Alterian communications officer named Rix read the words on his screen 3 times. His blue skin turned pale. Sir, he called to his supervisor. We have an emergency signal. Someone took human children. The supervisor, an old Mantari named Chief Bex, looked at the message. His 4 eyes went wide. Send this to the council immediately. Code red priority. Within 20 minutes, emergency alarms rang through the massive council building on the capital world of Nexus Prime. Representatives from dozens of species hurried to the emergency chamber. Many looked confused. Some looked scared. Ambassador Thelak of the Vrex Confederation was already in his seat when the others arrived. His tall, thin frame shook slightly. He had dealt with humans before. He knew what this message meant. Why are we here? Asked Counselor Zeph of the Mantari. It's just some pirates taking prisoners. This happens all the time in the outer systems. No, Thelak said quietly. This is different. They took human offspring. The room went silent. Several representatives looked at each other with worry. Others seemed confused. So, Zeph continued, humans are just another species. Why should we care about their young? Admiral Kesra of the Alterians stood up. Her military uniform was covered with battle honors. Counselor Zeph, have you ever fought humans? No. Why would that matter? The Admiral's face was grim. 3 years ago, pirates attacked a human cargo ship. They killed 2 crew members. Just 2. The humans tracked those pirates across 4 star systems. They destroyed 3 pirate bases and captured every single pirate involved. It took them 8 months, but they never stopped hunting. That's just military action, Zeph said. All species protect their trade routes. You don't understand, Thelak interrupted. This isn't about trade or territory. This is about their young. Humans don't think like us about their offspring. Director Yule of Council Intelligence activated the chamber's main screen. Data files appeared showing human behavior patterns. Let me explain, Director Yule said in his mechanical voice. Most species care for their young until they become adults. Humans are different. They form something called pack bonds with their offspring that last their entire lives. When human young are threatened, adult humans enter what they call protective mode. The screen showed video footage from previous human conflicts. Human soldiers fought with incredible determination when their families were in danger. Watch. This, Director Yule continued. This is from the Corvani War 5 years ago. Corvani forces captured a human settlement with children. Look at the human response. The video showed human fleets moving with frightening speed and coordination. They attacked Corvani positions with no concern for their own safety. The war ended in 3 weeks with complete human victory. The Corvani surrendered not because they were losing, Director Yule explained. They surrendered because they were terrified. The humans fought like creatures possessed. They refused all peace offers until every human child was returned safely. Counselor. Zeph's confidence was fading. But this is just one incident. Maybe. There are 37 similar incidents in our files. Director Yule cut him off. Every time human offspring are threatened, the same thing happens. Humans become relentless. They never stop. They never negotiate. They find who took their young, and they make them pay. Thelek stood up slowly. I was there during the Corvani War. I saw what humans do when their children are in danger. They don't just fight to win. They fight to make examples. The Corvani military doesn't exist anymore. Not because humans destroyed it, but because humans made it so terrifying to serve that no one would join. The chamber was completely quiet now. Representatives who had seemed bored earlier now paid close attention. What are you saying? Asked Representative Voss of the Centauri Union. I'm saying we need to find those children before the humans assume we're all involved. Thelek replied. Because once humans start hunting, they don't stop until they find what they're looking for. And if they think we're protecting the kidnappers. The implications hung in the air like a dark cloud. Admiral Kesra checked her communication device. I'm getting reports of human fleet movements. Multiple battle groups are mobilizing from at least 6 systems. How many ships? Director Yule asked. Over 300 so far, and more are joining every hour. The numbers made everyone nervous. The humans were mobilizing faster than anyone thought possible. Where are they going? Counselor Zeph asked. Zelari space, Admiral Kesra replied. Our intelligence says the pirates were Zelari raiders. Several representatives gasped. The Zelari Confederation was not a council member, but they controlled important trade routes. If humans attacked Zelari territory, it could destabilize the entire sector. We need to contact the Zelari government immediately, Thelek said. They need to find those pirates before the humans arrive. I'm trying, Director Yule said while working at his console. But Zelari authorities say they have no control over independent pirate groups. They claim it's not their responsibility. They're about to learn it is their responsibility, Admiral Kesra said grimly. Meanwhile, on various worlds throughout the galaxy, other species were having similar conversations. The news of kidnapped human children spread through unofficial channels faster than official ones. On the industrial world of Corex Prime, factory owner Grix shut down production lines and sent his workers home. If humans come looking for those children, I don't want them thinking we're involved, he told his assistant. On the trading station at Vega 7, Port Authority closed all docking bays to ships with Zelari registrations. No Zelari ships until this gets sorted out, the station commander announced. Even species that had never met humans before began taking precautions. The stories about human protective instincts had become legends across the galaxy. In the Zelari home system, Governor Krax received dozens of urgent messages. Other governments demanded he find the pirates. Trade partners threatened to cut off business relationships. Military allies suggested he solve the problem quickly. It's just some children, Governor Krax told his advisors. Why is everyone panicking? His military commander, General Vorth, had studied human tactical doctrine. Sir, humans don't see children as just anything. In their culture, protecting offspring is the highest duty. They will sacrifice anything to get their young back. But we didn't take them. Some independent pirates did. We have no control over. That won't matter to the humans, General Vorth interrupted. If those children aren't returned safely, humans will hold all Zalari responsible. Governor Krax looked at the fleet movement reports on his desk. Human warships were already crossing into neutral space, heading toward Zalari territory. How long until they arrive? 2 days, maybe 3 if they stop to coordinate with other fleets. And how long to find Captain Vextai and his crew? General Vorth's expression was grim. Unknown, sir. Vextai could be anywhere in the outer systems, finding one pirate ship in all that space. Then we better start looking immediately, Governor, Krax said. Send every available ship. Use all our intelligence networks. Find those pirates before the humans do. But everyone in the room knew the truth. 3 days was not enough time to search the vast emptiness of space. The human fleets would arrive long before the pirates were found, and when angry human parents came looking for their children, the galaxy would remember why humans were feared across 1,000 worlds. In the depths of space, Captain Vextai's ship continued its journey toward the outer rim. The pirate captain had no idea that the entire galaxy was mobilizing to find him. He thought he had made the perfect crime. He was about to learn how wrong he was. Admiral Deho Sung stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Inchin's Pride. His dark eyes stared at the star charts showing Zalari space. The third human fleet was moving at maximum speed toward the last known position of the pirates. Status. Report, Admiral Sung commanded. 43 ships in formation, replied Captain Yunha Park, his second in command. All weapons systems ready. Long-range scanners are active. Any word from the other fleets? Admiral Choi's 5th Fleet will arrive in the Zalari border system in 18 hours. Admiral Kwan's 7th Fleet is coming from the opposite direction. We'll have the entire sector surrounded. Admiral Sung nodded. 3 human fleets were converging on Zalari space. Over 200 warships total. It was the largest human military operation in 5 years. Sir, called Lieutenant Gale Yoon from the communication station, we're receiving a transmission from Earth Command. Put it through. The face of General Bijang appeared on the main screen. Her expression was cold and determined. She wore the uniform of Human Special Operations Command. Admiral Sung, I'm sending you additional intelligence about the target. Captain Vextai of the Zalari pirates has a history of raiding colonies for slaves and exotic goods. This appears to be his specialty. Do we know where he might be heading? Our analysts believe he's going to the Outer Rim black markets, probably the Nexus 7 station or the free port at Kepler's Edge. Both locations are known for selling rare specimens to private collectors. Admiral Sung's jaw tightened. The idea of human children being sold like animals made his blood burn with anger. General, what are my orders regarding the Zalari government? If they cooperate and help find our children, we'll be grateful. If they don't... General Jiang paused. You have full authority to do whatever is necessary. The transmission ended. Admiral Sung turned to his officers. Every face showed the same cold determination. You heard the general, we find our children. Everything else is secondary. Meanwhile, on a fast ship several systems away, Captain Wanho Shin led a team of 12 special operations soldiers. Their mission was to gather intelligence from known pirate bases in the region. Captain Shin had been fighting for 20 years. He had rescued hostages from alien slavers, destroyed pirate strongholds, and protected human colonies from raiders. But this mission felt different. These weren't just hostages. They were children. Target coming up, announced Sergeant Tail Kim from the pilot's seat. Asteroid Base Alpha 7, known Zalari pirate hideout. Remember the plan, Captain Shin told his team. We go in quiet. Find out what they know about Vextai. If they cooperate, we leave them alive to spread the word. And if they don't cooperate, asked Corporal Dara Moon. Captain Shin's smile was not friendly. Then we make sure other pirates understand what happens when humans are hunting. The asteroid base looked abandoned from the outside. Old mining equipment floated around a small station built into the rock. But thermal scans showed life signs inside. The special operations team moved like ghosts through the station's corridors. Their advanced armor made no sound. Their weapons could punch through any known alien defense. They found the pirates in the main hangar. 20 Zalari criminals were counting stolen goods and planning their next raid. They never saw the humans coming. "Nobody move," Captain Shin announced as his team appeared from the shadows. "We're looking for information." The pirates reached for their weapons. They never got the chance to use them. In 3 seconds, the humans had disarmed all 20 aliens and secured the area. "We're looking for Captain Vextai," Captain Shin said to the pirate leader. "Tell us where he is and you live." The leader, an old Zalari named Kos, spat on the floor. "We don't talk to humans. Kill us if you want. We fear nothing." Captain Shin walked closer. His helmet's visor reflected the alien's face back at him. "You should fear us," Captain Shin said quietly. "Vextai took human children. Do you know what that means?" Kos looked confused. "Children? So what? Pirates take slaves all the time." "Not human children," Captain Shin replied. "When someone takes our young, we don't just hunt the kidnappers. We hunt everyone who helped them. Everyone who knew about them. Everyone who could have stopped them, but didn't." The captain gestured to his team. They began setting explosive charges around the base. "Wait," Kos said nervously. "What are you doing?" "Making a statement. Other pirates need to understand that protecting child kidnappers is bad for business." "We didn't protect anyone. We don't even know Vextai." "Then you have nothing to worry about," Captain Shin said. "But just to be sure, you're going to help. Send a message." 10 minutes later, the human team was back on their ship. The asteroid base exploded behind them in a brilliant flash of light. But they had left one pirate ship intact. On board was Kos and 3 other survivors. "Here's what you're going to do," Captain Shin told them over the radio. "You're going to visit every pirate base, every criminal hideout, every black market station in this sector. You're going to tell them what happened here. You're going to explain that humans are hunting for our children, and anyone who helps, the kidnappers will end up like your base." "And if we refuse?" Kos asked. "Then I hunt you down personally," Captain Shin replied. "And I'm very good at hunting." The pirate ship limped away into space. Captain Shin knew his message would spread quickly. Pirates talked to each other. Within days, every criminal in the sector would know that humans were coming. Back on Earth, Dr. Soyoung Lim worked in a secure facility deep underground. As humanity's leading expert on alien psychology, she had been asked to help plan the rescue operation. "The key is understanding how different species think about children," she explained to the military commanders listening by video link. "Most aliens see offspring as replaceable. If you lose some, you just make more. But humans form permanent emotional bonds with our children." "How does this help us?" asked Admiral Sung from his ship. "It means the pirates don't understand what they've done. They think they took valuable property. They don't realize they've started a war." Dr. Lim brought up psychological profiles on her screen. "Captain Vextai has raided dozens of colonies. He's taken slaves from many species. But he's never dealt with human parents before. He has no idea what's coming." "What about the children themselves?" asked General Zhang. "How are they likely to behave?" Dr. Lim smiled for the first time in hours. "That's the interesting part. Human children are much more capable than most aliens realize. Other species see young humans as helpless because they're small. But human children inherit the same intelligence and determination as their parents." "You think they might try to escape?" "I think they're already planning it," Dr. Lim said confidently. "Human children in danger don't just wait for rescue. They try to rescue themselves." Her prediction was more accurate than she knew. On Captain Vextai's ship, Minji Park was doing exactly what Dr. Lim expected. The pirates had locked the human children in a cargo hold. The room was cold and dark, with only basic life support. The aliens thought their prisoners were secure. They were wrong. Minji had been watching the guards. She counted how often they checked on the children. She memorized their routines. She studied the lock on the door. "What are you thinking?" asked Jiho quietly. The younger boy sat beside her in the corner. "I'm thinking we need to get out of here," Minji whispered back. "My mom taught me things about ships and security systems. I think I can open that door." "Really?" "Maybe. But even if I can, we'll still be on a ship in space. We can't fly it ourselves. An older boy named Minho approached them. At 12, he was the oldest of the captured children. What if we don't try to fly the ship, he suggested. What if we just mess it up instead? Minji looked interested. What do you mean? My dad works on colony power systems. I know a little about how ships work. If we can get to the engine room, or the control systems, we might be able to break something important. Like what? Like the jump drive, or the communications, or life support. Minho's young face showed determination. If we can stop the ship from running, maybe our parents can find us. The other children gathered around to listen. Despite their fear, they all wanted to help. It's dangerous, Minji warned them. If we get caught, the pirates might hurt us. They're going to sell us anyway, said Yunji, a 9-year-old girl. At least this way we're fighting back. Jiho nodded firmly. My dad always said humans don't give up. We never give up. Minji looked at the determined faces around her. These were human children. They might be small, but they had the same spirit that made their species feared across the galaxy. Okay, she said quietly. Let's show these pirates what human children can do. In the depths of space, 3 human fleets continued their approach to Zalari territory. Behind them, more ships were joining the hunt. The galaxy watched nervously as humanity mobilized its military might. But the most dangerous humans were already where they needed to be. 12 children, locked in a cargo hold, were about to prove that being human was about more than just size and strength. It was about never giving up, no matter how impossible the odds seemed. Captain Vextai stood in his ship's control room, looking at the star charts with satisfaction. In 2 hours, they would reach the free port at Kepler's Edge. The black market station was perfect for selling exotic specimens to wealthy collectors. Sir, Lieutenant Klim called from his station. I'm picking up some strange signals. Long-range scanners show multiple ships moving through this sector. Traders, probably, Vextai replied without interest. The free port always has heavy traffic. These look bigger than trading ships, military signatures. Now Vextai looked concerned. He walked over to examine Klim's scanner readings. The signatures were definitely military vessels, and they were moving in organized formations. How many ships? Hard to tell from this distance. At least 50. Maybe more. Whose ships are they? Klim worked at his controls, trying to get clearer readings. I'm not sure. The signatures don't match any known alien military forces in this region. Vextai felt a cold worry in his stomach. Keep monitoring and increase our speed. I want to reach the free port as soon as possible. What the pirate captain didn't know was that 3 human fleets had already surrounded the entire sector. Admiral Sung's ships were approaching from the Galactic East. Admiral Choi's fleet came from the west. Admiral Kwan's ships blocked the southern routes. Every escape path was covered. In the cargo hold, Minji had succeeded in opening the door, lock. Her small fingers had worked carefully with the ship's basic security system. Human children learned about technology from an early age, and Minji was smarter than most. It's open, she whispered to the other children, but we need to be very quiet. The corridor outside was empty. The pirates didn't think their small prisoners could escape, so they hadn't posted guards. It was a mistake they would regret. Minho led the way toward the engine room. His knowledge of ship systems helped him navigate the unfamiliar corridors. Behind him, 11 other children moved like shadows. This way, he whispered, pointing to a maintenance shaft. Engine room should be through here. The children crawled through the narrow space one by one. It was dark and cold, but they didn't complain. Human children learned to be tough from an early age. They emerged in the ship's engineering section. Massive machines hummed with power. Strange alien writing covered control panels and warning signs. Can you read any of this? Minji asked Minho. Some of it. Dad taught me basic alien tech symbols. The 12-year-old boy studied the control panels carefully. This one controls the jump drive. This one is life support. And that big one over there runs the main engines. Which one should we break? Minho thought for a moment. If we break the jump drive, they can't escape to hyperspace. If we break the engines, they can't move. But if we break the wrong thing, we might hurt ourselves. Jiho had been looking at another panel. What about this one? It has lots of blinking lights. Minho came over to look. His eyes went wide. That's the ship's emergency beacon. If we turn it on, it will broadcast our location to anyone listening. Will our parents be listening? If they're looking for us, yes. Minho started working with the controls. Help me figure out how to activate this. Meanwhile, on the bridge, Lieutenant Klim was getting more worried about the sensor readings. Sir, those military ships are definitely moving toward us, and I'm picking up more contacts. Lots more. Captain Vexitai looked at the tactical display. Red dots appeared on the screen as more ships entered scanner range. Too many red dots. How many ships are out there? I count over 200 now, and they're all moving in coordinated patterns. The pirate captain's confidence was starting to crack. This wasn't normal military patrol activity. This looked like a major operation. Sir, called another crew member. I'm getting communication signals. Someone is broadcasting warnings on all frequencies. What kind of warnings? It's about us. Someone is telling all ships in the sector to watch for our vessel. They're saying we have human captives. Now Vextai was truly worried. How did anyone know about the human children? The raid on New Busan had been small and quick. No one should have been able to send messages. Play the broadcast. A cold human voice filled the bridge. Attention all vessels. The ship Crimson Raider under Captain Vextai has kidnapped human children from New Busan colony. Any ship providing aid to these pirates will be considered hostile. Any station giving them shelter will be destroyed. Find them and report their location immediately. The blood drained from Vextai's face. The humans weren't just looking for him. They were turning the entire galaxy against him. Sir, Klim said nervously. Maybe we should consider returning the children. If the humans want them back so badly. No, Vextai snapped. Those children are worth millions. I'm not giving up the biggest score of my career. But even as he said it, the captain was beginning to understand he had made a terrible mistake. The humans weren't treating this like a simple kidnapping. They were treating it like a war. In the engine room, the children had successfully activated the emergency beacon. A steady signal now broadcast their exact location to anyone within 100 light years. Did it work? Asked Yunji. I think so, Minho replied. But we should do more. If we can slow down the ship, our parents will have more time to find us. Minji was studying another control panel. What if we shut off the gravity generator? That would make it hard for the pirates to work. Good idea. But let's do something that really stops them. Minho found the main engine controls. With careful movements, he began entering commands. I'm going to shut down the primary drive system. The ship will drop out of faster-than-light travel. Won't that make the pirates angry? Probably. But my dad always said that when you're in trouble, make as much noise as possible so people can find you. The boy pressed the final command sequence. Throughout the ship, alarms began to sound. The Crimson Raider shuddered and dropped out of hyperspace. On the bridge, chaos erupted. Warning lights flashed red. Computer voices announced system failures in the alien language. What's happening? Vextai shouted. Engine failure, replied the chief engineer. Something shut down the main drive. We're dead in space. Fix it. I'm trying. But someone accessed the engine controls from inside the ship. The shutdown was deliberate. Vextai realized what had happened. The children, they got out of their cell. He grabbed his weapon and ran toward the cargo hold, followed by several crew members. But when they reached the holding area, it was empty. Find them, the captain ordered. Search every room. They're just children. How dangerous can they be? Lieutenant, Klim found the answer when he tried to enter the engine room. The door was locked from the inside and something had been done to the control panel. Sir, they've barricaded themselves in engineering, and they've damaged the door controls. Blast. Through the door. Sir, if we use weapons in the engine room, we might damage vital systems. We could lose life support or power. Vextai was trapped. He couldn't get to the children without risking his ship. And every minute they delayed, the human fleets got closer. Can we at least restart the engines remotely? No, sir. They've locked out the remote controls from the engineering station. The pirate captain was beginning to understand why humans were feared across the galaxy. Even their children were dangerous. Admiral Sung's fleet detected the emergency beacon immediately. Contact, emergency signal bearing 27 Mark IV. It's them. Distance? 12 light years. We can be there in 30 minutes. Signal the other fleets. Tell them we've found our children. Admiral Sung turned to address his crew. This is it. We're going to get our children back. I want every ship ready for combat. If the pirates surrender immediately and release the children unharmed, we accept their surrender. If they resist or threaten the children in any way, he paused. We show them why the galaxy fears humanity. Captain Wanho Shin's Special Operations ship was closest to the beacon signal. Admiral, we can reach the target in 15 minutes. Request permission to begin rescue operations. Permission granted. But be careful, Captain. Those children are precious cargo. Understood, sir. Though, from what I'm seeing on these sensor readings, the children might not need as much rescuing as we thought. What do you mean? The pirate ship is dead in space. No engine power, no maneuvering capability. Either they had a major system failure, or someone sabotaged their ship from the inside. Admiral Sung allowed himself a small smile. Human children? Captain, never underestimate human children. As the fleets converged on the pirate vessel, Captain Vextai finally understood the magnitude of his mistake. He had thought he was kidnapping helpless victims. Instead, he had declared war on the most dangerous species in the galaxy. And even worse, he was losing that war to a group of children. The Crimson Raider drifted helpless in space, surrounded by 3 human fleets. On board, 12 human children controlled the ship's most vital systems. The rescue was almost over. The real question was whether Captain Vextai would be smart enough to surrender before the humans decided to take their children back by force. Captain Vextai stared at his tactical display in horror. 3 massive human fleets surrounded his disabled ship. Over 200 warships hung in space like predators waiting to strike. Their weapons were powered up and ready to fire. Sir, Lieutenant Klim said with a shaking voice, we're receiving a transmission from the human fleet. Put it through. Admiral Sung's face appeared on the main screen. His expression was cold as ice. Captain Vextai, this is Admiral Sung of the Human Third Fleet. You have 30 seconds to release our children unharmed and surrender your vessel. Comply and you will be taken prisoner. Refuse and your ship will be destroyed. Vextai looked around his bridge. His crew watched him with fear in their eyes. The humans had found them faster than anyone thought possible. And somehow, the children had disabled his ship from the inside. We can negotiate, Vextai stammered. The children are valuable. We can make a deal. Admiral Sung's eyes grew even colder. 20 seconds. Wait, you don't understand. I have buyers lined up, rich collectors who will pay millions for human offspring. We can split the profits. The human admiral's face showed no emotion. 10 seconds. Captain Vextai realized the humans weren't going to negotiate. They didn't want money or treaties or trade agreements, they just wanted their children back. And they were willing to destroy his entire ship to get them. I surrender, he shouted. Don't shoot. I surrender. Open all airlocks and power down. All weapons, Admiral Sung commanded. Any hostile action will result in immediate destruction. Meanwhile, in the engine room, the human children heard the conversation over the ship's communication system. Minji smiled at her friends. They found us, she said. Our parents came for us. Jiho hugged her tightly. I knew they would. Humans never give up on their children. What do we do now? Asked Minho. We wait, Minji replied. And we stay ready to fight if the pirates try anything stupid. The children had proven they could take care of themselves, but they were also smart enough to let the adults handle things from here. Captain Wanho Shin's special operations ship docked with the pirate vessel first. His team moved through the corridors quickly and efficiently. They secured the bridge and captured all the pirates within minutes. Children located in engineering, Sergeant Kim reported. All 12 are safe and unharmed. Captain Shin felt relief wash over him. The mission was a success. The children were alive and well. He made his way to the engine room where the children had barricaded themselves. "Hello in there," he called through the door. "I'm Captain Shin with Human Special Operations. You're safe now." The door opened, and Minji Park looked out carefully. She saw the human military uniform and the kind face beneath the combat helmet. "Are you really here to rescue us?" she asked. "We are, and your parents are very proud of you. All of you." One by one, the children came out of the engine room. They looked tired and scared, but also defiant. They had been through a terrible experience, but they had never given up. "How did you disable the ship?" Captain Shin asked with genuine curiosity. Minho stepped forward. "I know about ship systems. We turned on the emergency beacon and shut down the engines." "That was very smart thinking." "We're human," Jiho said, proudly. "Humans don't just wait to be rescued. We rescue ourselves." Captain Shin smiled. The boy was right. These children had shown the same courage and determination that made humanity respected and feared across the galaxy. Within an hour, all the children were safely aboard Admiral Sung's flagship. Medical teams checked them over while their parents waited anxiously for word. "They're all fine," reported Dr. Heesun Cho, the fleet medical officer. "No injuries, no harm done. They're remarkable children." Admiral Sung activated a communication link to New Busan Colony. The face of Hyun Lee appeared on the screen. The man's eyes were red from worry and lack of sleep. "Admiral, please tell me. Your son is safe." Admiral Sung interrupted with a smile. "All the children are safe. They're healthy, they're unharmed, and they're asking for their parents." Hyun Lee broke down and cried with relief. In the background, Admiral Sung could see other parents celebrating as the news spread through the colony. "We're sending a fast ship to bring them home," Admiral Sung continued. "They should be with you in 2 days." "Thank you," Hyun whispered. "Thank you for bringing them back." On the medical bay of the flagship, Jiho Kim was talking to his father through a video link. "Dad, you should have seen what Minji and Minho did. They broke the pirate ship." "I'm so proud of all of you," Hyun replied. "You were very brave." "The pirates didn't know humans never give up," Jiho said. "Even little humans." Meanwhile, Captain Vexidtai and his crew were taken to a human prison ship. As they were led away in chains, the pirate captain finally understood what he had done wrong. He had thought human children were weak because they were small. He had thought human parents would negotiate because most aliens would. He had thought he could escape because space was vast and hiding places were many. He had been wrong about everything. Ambassador Samin Yu arrived at the Galactic Council chambers within days of the rescue. She had been sent to address the concerns of other species about the human military response. "Honorable representatives," she began, "we want to thank all species who helped locate our children. Your cooperation was vital to their safe return." Counselor Zeph of the Mantari looked nervous. "Ambassador Yu, many of our members were concerned about the scale of your military deployment. 3 fleets for 12 children seems excessive." Ambassador Yu's expression was patient but firm. "Counselor, let me explain something about humans. We judge a civilization not by how it treats its strongest members, but by how it protects its weakest. Our children are not just our future. They are our most precious responsibility. But surely you could have negotiated with child kidnappers?" "Never." The ambassador's voice grew hard. "Anyone who threatens human children has declared war on all humanity. We responded accordingly." Thelek stood up to support her. "The ambassador is right. Humans don't negotiate when their offspring are in danger. Every species in this galaxy needs to understand that." Director Yule activated his display screen. "The rescue operation has had positive effects across the sector. Pirate activity has dropped by 70%. 3 major criminal organizations have disbanded. The message has been received clearly." "What message?" asked Representative Voss. "That harming human children is the fastest way to make enemies of the most dangerous military force in the galaxy," Director Yule replied. Ambassador Yu nodded. "We're not asking for special treatment. We're simply making our position clear. Protect our children, and you'll find no better allies." Threaten our children, and you'll discover why humans are feared across 1,000 worlds. The council voted unanimously to pass new protections for all sentient offspring throughout their territory. It became known as the Human Children Protection Act, though it applied to young beings of every species. Back on New Busan Colony, life returned to normal. The children who had been kidnapped became local heroes. Other children looked up to them with admiration. Jiho Kim often sat by the colony fence watching for ships in the sky. But now he wasn't looking for aliens to visit. He was watching to make sure his family stayed safe. "Do you think the pirates will come back?" he asked Minji one day. "No," she replied confidently. "They're too scared now. Everyone in the galaxy knows what happens when you take human children." "Good," Jiho said. "I don't want to be rescued again." "It was scary." Minji laughed. "We weren't rescued, Jiho. We rescued ourselves. Our parents just came to pick us up afterward." The boy thought about this. "You're right. We did rescue ourselves, didn't we?" "That's what humans do," Minji said proudly. "We never give up, we never stop fighting, and we always take care of each other." Across the galaxy, those words had become more than just a saying. They had become a warning that every species understood and respected. The phrase, "you captured human offspring," had entered galactic language as a way of describing the most catastrophically stupid decision anyone could make. Pirates told stories about the Vextai incident to explain why certain targets were absolutely forbidden. Trade stations posted signs in multiple languages. "No human children will be harmed." On these premises, military academies taught courses about human protective instincts. Diplomatic schools required students to study human family structures. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Humans were dangerous because of their technology and their military skill. But they were most dangerous when someone threatened what they loved most, and what humans loved most was their children. Captain Vextai spent the rest of his life in a human prison, thinking about his mistake. He had captured what he thought were helpless younglings. Instead, he had stolen the most precious treasures of the galaxy's most protective species. The last entry in his prison diary read, "I thought I was kidnapping children. I was actually declaring war on their parents. No treasure is worth that price." He was right. No treasure in the galaxy was worth making enemies of human parents. And now, thankfully, everyone knew it.